Hello and welcome to Brave Soul's Full Dive, a show that still doesn't have a good intro. Today I'll be covering the Lost Asian version of Ichigo, or Full-Brain Ichigo as a lot of people call him. A character who, despite being over 2 years old at this point, is still regarded as one of the best characters in the game, and for very good reason. Once again, if you like this video, please hit like and let me know in the comments. It's still a relatively new series, so if you guys like it I will continue to do it. With that out of the way, let's begin. Now I started off with the best possible build I could for this character, which is just a strong attack recharge / strong attack damage build. He may have outdated stats, but it's still a really high SP and he still does have frenzy. In addition to this, he also has a decent attack. This results in some pretty heavy damage with some really good range. Not just that, but his strong attacks are also really fast to activate. Plus, since he has a strong attack damage link, he'll be able to deal a bit more damage from that. Now with this build, you will constantly be firing strong attacks. That said, you will occasionally have to use your normal attack. Luckily, this Ichigo has a 40% bruiser, and as I mentioned earlier, a decent attack. It's got great range and really good speed, so using your normal attack isn't only good, but also really fun. And the result is the best possible build for this character. Now while the last build is the best build to use, it's not the one that deals the most damage. That honor belongs to the Senkaimon Aizen build, a build that personally I'm not fond of, unless of course it's during Senkaimon. But I do recognize that the damage output is crazy, since at this point his strong attacks would be increased by 120%, and his normal attack would be increased by 60%. As I mentioned earlier, his normal attack is actually really good, so you can actually get damage from both ends, even if your strong attacks aren't coming back that quickly. Luckily, Ichigo has a strong attack 3 that's full screen and it actually hits in waves, so under this particular build, this one strong attack was able to take out a lot of enemies. The only downside to this build is if he gets hit once, he loses 60% damage from both ends. So it's not the best build to take unless you have a healer in your team. This wouldn't be that big of a deal if he was ranged, but unfortunately he's not. And while his strong attacks do have good range, relying on only those would result in beating a mission a lot slower. Still, it is a fun build and I highly recommend you check it out if you have him. Next up is actually one of the best strong builds I've ever done. I actually have an entire episode on this build if you want to check it out, but you can pretty much see the result for yourself here. This strong build is unbelievable since, as I mentioned before, he has a decent attack, really good attack speed, range, and a plus 40 bruiser, something that strong attack damage characters just don't have. This resulted in a lot of the enemies going down extremely quickly, and not a single one was able to take the full normal attack string unless of course they were guardian. At that point you actually do have to use your strong attacks, but because he has a high attack and frenzy, the strong attacks actually deal a decent amount of damage by themselves, even though he's chappy. In fact, I would even go as far as to say that this is not a bad build to use if you just don't have any good tech SP accessories. Plus, the build itself is super fun since his attack speed is insane. Now back in the day, this character was actually really good at PvP. As I mentioned earlier, his strong attacks have a really fast activation speed. Thanks to this, his high SP and frenzy, he was able to take out characters really quickly, and on the off chance they survive, his decent normal attack was able to pick him off. However, since then, the damage reduction high attack characters have taken over, so a few good strong attacks isn't enough to take them down. And while his normal attack is decent, it's not enough to take them down in PvP, since the plus 40 bruiser is nothing compared to Flurry. Plus his main focus is on his SP and strong attacks, so once he uses those up, he really doesn't stand a chance. That said though, you can still use him. He's not a bad option up until the higher levels. I would say he's decent up until 4th seat, and then after that you're gonna have to rethink some stuff. And who knows, maybe he'll be good in PvP again after Resurrection, but that won't happen for a while. So yeah, aside from the PvP, he is still a really good character, and one you can build in any way and he'll be fine. Once again, I want to thank you guys for watching, and if you'd like to see another character reviewed in this way, please let me know.